23 Minecraft hidden entrances, but they get even harder to find as the video goes on, starting with this secret room in the end, the End Island Underground. You gotta really know where these things are to be able to find them. Oh, good thing I practiced flying into our base every day, otherwise I would not have been able to do this. We got our base here. This is a pretty solid spot to set up. Look, I mean, these aren't gonna be visible anywhere else. You usually need an end gateway to get out here, and if you kill the Ender Dragon enough times, you can place down enough end gateways to make it easier enough to get over here. It's a solid enough solution, just don't expect yourself to respawn anytime soon. You wanna share the joke bed? Known affectionately as the Titanic, the iceberg dive, the idea here is that we're plunging underneath the iceberg to find our base. And then by swimming inside of the iceberg, we've not only got a cramped spot, but also a pretty hidden base. I mean, with the packed ice, this isn't transparent, so you're not exactly seeing through this. Get your boats and hoes, have a fantastic time. The hoes always change up, you know what I'm saying? But the boats are forever. There's a lesson to be learned here. So we've got our bed, and then if you want, you could just swim right out. The more blocks that you carve out of here, you're not only gonna get yourself some ice, but you can also have a nice hidden base. There you go. I mean, look, it's not accessible from any side here. I couldn't tell that you're living down there, and honestly, I could care less. If you're bringing me out into the ice, you can keep your hidden base. The bed transpose door. Now, the idea here is that if we set it to night, and then I were to sleep in this bed. Now this just looks like kind of a weird coffin setup, maybe a race car bed that ended up in a crash. But if I leave this bed now, when it's nighttime, it puts me out on the other side because I can't go on any of those other blocks, getting me to my actual secret base. If you're not able to sleep the whole night through, I got a skeleton shooting at me, no worries, I'm on the other side. Pretty handy stuff. Oh, quick, deploy the boat. Aww. This here just looks like a trash can, but actually we're gonna put a different kind of garbage inside, because if I step in here, flip that trap door, I can push myself through. Oh. And there you go. That is the composter door. So what we're doing here is we have a composter that's flush with the wall. So then when you go inside, close the lid. Thank you, my magician's assistant. It sucks you through, you eject on that side, and the composter comes right back into place. How neat. So credit to Justy Boy 3. You got a good little AFK box. It works in both directions, really? Yeah, so you can press that button, you can press this button, and if you add in some extra ones, it blends in pretty well as decoration. You just have to step inside first thing. There you go. You let the button close the lid and you're right over to the other side. Very nice. The honey block pearl door. So the idea here is that we're sneaking in, getting the ender pearls, and then if there's a specific angle that you hit this honey block, slip through, and there we go. We have now ejected ourselves into our hidden base. Not the most flashy, I might add. Oh yeah, we've got these water columns that are slurping us up. So the same technology that lets us do this, lets our hitbox sneak out the pixel, is what lets us use the same with the ender pearl. See if I can make like an ender pearl stasis. Yep, okay, it's stasis, but I'm gonna be in stasis. So if you aim through the most translucent part, that's how you get out. And then same on the way up. Oppa! Does hurt a little bit, but you know what? So does honey. So the idea here is that we're hiding a pressure plate in a high hole, kind of like that, our little mail slot up there. And then if I can aim my fishing hook through there, perfect. Sneak on through. Who's carrying around a fishing hook at all hours? This is fine. Get over to your chest. It's awesome. Yeah, can you use an item? Let's find out. I don't think so. I think it gets rejected by the slab. Also an easy one to hide inside of the blocks. I mean, granted, the world doesn't generate like this, but I mean, you step back far enough, you could fool me easily. We tucked that into the observatory here, I would be none the wiser. Here we've got the redstone ore update door. I'm walking through the mine shaft, right? Nothing crazy, maybe mining a few blocks. I just punched that, bam, into my secret base. Now this does work as kind of a timed thing, which is annoying, but by having it powered with an observer underneath, we go into a copper bulb that gives us the binary output to then make this redstone door. Very nice. I guess you could do this with any ore if you wanted it to just be something that you broke, but I mean, redstone ore works uniquely well for this. I think it's a good way to use that block, and plus it blends in. Just don't place it at like a super high level. If you're up here and I'm seeing redstone ore that's just like cropping out here, I'm gonna be a little suspicious, you know what I mean? Here we've got a door that uses absolutely zero redstone. Now how are we doing that? Well, the setup comes comes down to getting this hoe, and then if I were to just go over here to this dirt block, till it, that gives me exactly 1 pixel's worth of peeking through. See my minecart, eject out of here, and I'm in my base. Now granted, the back's open here. We kind of did a green here. We didn't finish the back, but if you were to finish this back right here, then it's a completely safe hobbit hole. Oh yeah, Observer's got a good idea. If you want to add in some redstone, you make this an activator rail. That'll automatically eject you, so then you're not actually taking damage. So you just trample that again, or you can let it just dry out. It doesn't have water, so it's gonna be fine. You look over here, right click, in survival, ejects you out here. It doesn't look like it's enjoying it very much, but trust me, this is the minecart serving its purpose. The jump boost hidden base. Now, by drinking jump boost, which isn't exactly an effect that anyone's bringing around, much less in potions, maybe if you got a beacon, the idea here is they have a base that you can only get into if you're doing these 2-block tall jumps. And then get all the way up here. Oh look, a trap door, and now I'm down into my base. Awesome. So if you only want Bugs Bunny coming asking you what's up, Doc, then this is the way to do it. Now granted, it does cost you a rabbit's foot every time you're trying this, so that's a bit annoying, but you set that up and you can make it so that you're just jumping up and you know where to go. Here we've got the simple chiseled bookshelf door. Everyone dreams of having a hidden bookshelf door, and with chiseled bookshelves, you now got the easiest option for that. And you see, you can tell which ones they are by the ones that have only a few books inside. So by putting a book in, it lets me see my secret chest, or this could be a secret entrance. And then you take your book out, you're good to go. Just awesome. And the way that these work, they work with different comparator outputs too. You could make like a combination lock with one of these. We've shown that off in the past. It rocks. But yeah, all the redstone to do this here is just a simple T flip-flop coming out of this, observer into a copper bulb, powering the comparator into whatever pistons you want. All right, observer, we're talking about furnaces now. So we've got our different meats and stuff. You see a lump of gold, we put it in here, let it burn up, and then we find out we smelted just the right item to get into the exclusive club. Awesome. And so if you want something particularly weird that not a lot of people smelt, I don't know what that would be, but there's so many different options. Diamond ore, if you want to make it super exclusive, you could make it, yeah, there you go, cracked nether bricks. By smelting up nether bricks, getting cracked nether bricks, no one's doing this. All right, so if you want only the exclusive club who also appreciates cracked nether bricks to smelt it and get through, otherwise it just works as a normal furnace. Very nice. Oh, we got some birch incorporated into this one. Everyone avert your eyes. But over here we got the setup to build the trash fire hopper minecart. Now, by throwing in some trash like so, a few rotten flesh, oh, something opened up. There we go. Secret base, baby. And we didn't lose any of our stuff. Even throwing it into fire, it didn't die. Yeah, so the way that we're doing this is that we have the hopper minecart in the block with the fire on top of it, that then pulls the items out instead of burning them, and then you can filter for a specific key item, making it so that you have to throw your most valuable possession into the fire, and that lets you out. The pressure plate timer door. So the idea here is by having a pressure plate to open up your door, that's simple enough. But having a pressure plate that you have to stand on long enough to activate the hidden door. So I step on this, just wait. There we go. That eventually opens it up. Now, granted, the way that we have this set up, it was just 1 block away from entering in, but something like that, especially if you're doing it in a way where you can kind of combine techniques. You could use the fishing rod technique. You're putting it with a fishing rod on the pressure plate. It has to hold it for a certain amount of time. You can't just instantly retract it. That'd be cool. Here we've got ourselves the bonfire lit door by using ourselves a flint and steel like so. And then if we were to unlight it, that triggers the observer, letting us into our secret base. And now we're in, this just looks like, this looks like cult activity. Here we've got the armor stand door. So going over on the location, we've got our armor stand over here, looking a little naked, but if I were to add something on top of it, like a turtle shell, that triggers and lets us get through. And the reason for that is a specifically calibrated skulk sensor that you can see here. We've got a lectern on page 5, giving it an input of 5, then letting us go through and detect for different things. How crazy is that? I mean, I wouldn't have thought dressing up the doorman was the way through, but sure enough, now we're at our base. And then you can waterlog the calibrated skulk sensor so it doesn't make sound. Well, cool. How do we get out of here? So normally we would have paintings up here, right? But walking through a painting, that's old hat. So the idea here is that if we have a painting that we instead throw items through, that gets us a pressure plate into our secret staircase. Now granted, this is just a secret staircase that lets us go right back up to where we were, but you can collect the items even if you want to as well. And I mean, there's a lot of ways to use paintings that don't just use paintings in the typical way, right? Like if you get something like this, what you could do is you could just add trap doors, and then if you got the standard standard painting door, you can't just walk through here. You have to maneuver your way. Or you could have a painting that you can only swim through. That makes the door a lot better. Or you could just use this option. Either way, it's more hidden than not. All right, now we got an extra scary painting. The way that this works is that we have a secret behind this painting. Now, there's a regular hallway with little on either side, but if you look straight to the left here in a specific spot, that'll trigger the creaking stair and the water chamber behind it, and then that gives us a redstone signal getting us into our base. So I have to look this way at the creaking, otherwise it doesn't work. I mean, now I'm just stuck in a slime pit. But the way that this works is that no one's looking at it. The creaking is all excited and active, but as soon as the observer looks at it, then it sinks, letting the redstone tripwire know to deactivate, getting us a way in. I mean, you do have to get a creaking heart, but once you get that all sorted out, not a bad hidden base. All right, so the solution here, we're in our secret base, right? But we want a way out, and we don't want anyone curious when we're escaping. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set this up, and then by having a minecart up here, it puts us into the slabs of this floor. We eject, and we're right back up here on the ground level. So by just having a minecart, you can escape to some pretty cool spots. And I mean, you could also have this be a hidden roof above your base if you wanted to as well. It doesn't just have to be an escape, it could be an entrance. Not bad. I don't know why we have a skeleton here. I guess I usually keep those in the closet. So if we set this up, let's say we're in the nether, right? Walking into my base, holding up my mushroom, and hey, just like that. So the way that this works is that we're baiting a strider on the other side, and by holding this specific fungus, very similar to a carrot key or other things that we've shown off in the past, but I mean, a warped fungus is so weird. I don't think people are trying this, especially having a strider over in the overworld to even make this happen. Very peculiar. Triggers the tripwires, opens up the door, you got your secret entrance. Oh, we just got a snowy strider. So by having powdered snow here and regular snow, this means that by using naturally spawned powdered snow pits at the bottom of the powdered snow, you can have an open hidden trap door. Now, okay, we gotta squeeze past a few strider remains. There we go. And now we're sneakily into our base. And then if you want to get out, we got ourselves our trusty pair of leather boots a little bit later than when we needed them. And then you can swim right out with your leather boots without freezing. Awesome. Now, we've shown this off in the past too. I will add in a little extra tip. So we got our snow here, regular snow. We get scaffolding, place that up, get some powder snow layers through here. We can sneak through snow layers to get into the scaffolding. Another hidden base. There you go. 2 for the price. I fell in the snow again. The stone generator door. So the idea here is that we're detecting when a stone block breaks. Now we know that it's here with an obvious arrow. You wouldn't have this in your secret base, but we break that, open up our base, and we're all set. And then you have to break another one, I guess, to get back. There you go. But by having clean stone generation using flowing water like so, we can push it up so there's always a stone block ready to get us in. This one I think is awesome. I mean, just having regenerating walls with stone generators is already cool, but using that as a way to then trigger redstone to get into a hidden base, that rocks. We've got the wind charge hidden lever door. Now, the way that this works, it's actually something that we were just talking about in another recording. What we're doing is we're using a wind charge in the seemingly normal field, maybe a little underwater. I throw that, and it could trigger through blocks, letting us get inside and having the ultimate base down here. And then we get in, we have our stuff, it rocks. Now, can we wind charge escape? Yeah! So yeah, let's get a little bit of X-ray here. So all of that is because we have a lever on the underside of this that gets flicked when we throw out our wind charge, triggering everything like that. Yeah, and you would think it's the target. It's really not. It's this lever right here that's doing it. The target's just used to redirect redstone. Very cool. I love being a scarecrow. All right, we got observers hidden base. Now see, up here, we fly past this every day, but you might not notice that on the inside, observer actually has a few evil things to spy on us. If we go down here, from the outside, these just look like regular eyes. You can't even tell in the pixel art, but actually, we're getting spied on by observer. Always watching.
And with that, folks, YouTube thinks that you might like this video. So see if they're right and have a good one. All right?